Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace your AC or air conditioning condenser fan. It's the driver's side fan. And this is pretty much the same for 2001 to 2005 Civic. Items you'll need are a new AC cooling fan from 1AAuto.com, a 10mm wrench or a socket ratchet extension, Phillips and flathead screwdrivers, curved needle nose and standard pliers, penetrating oil, and a rag. And there are 4 clips at the top to remove. Okay, at the front of the wheel well on each side, there's a 10mm bolt right here you need to remove, and again, this is on each side. Also on each side, you'll want to pull the wheel well down. Underneath, there should be a series of these push pins just like the top. Release each side just by pulling firmly. And then you may have to just pull a little bit and it'll come off. Your drain is right under the center. It's actually a little hole right into this cover, and you can see it right here. I'm just going to use a little pair of pliers just to help us get that petcock going. Okay, once you just turn a little bit, just turn it out slowly, and obviously you don't want to do this while the engine is hot. Once you get it draining, remove the radiator cap to allow air in and allow it to drain. 10mm wrench, loosen your negative battery cable first. Pull it up and off and remove it. I've got a larger wrench to hold on to the bolt from this side. And then loosen it up and disconnect your positive cable second. Pull it off. And just kind of push them down so they don't come back and hit the battery. 10mm bolt to remove here, and then 10mm nut here. And we're lucky enough, I did spray it down, but the way it was put together, there's actually just a hook at the bottom, so you can unhook that and pull the retainer up and off. And then this little protective cover comes up and off as well. And now you can lift your battery up and out. Remove the rest of your battery retainer, and there's a 10mm bolt holding the reservoir right here. Remove the bolt with your socket and ratchet and extension. Lift it up and out and just unclip the hose as you go. Okay, it's just a little wire clip. Sometimes you can actually just use your fingers and pull it off towards the bottle, and then a pair of pliers will help you just break this hose loose and then twist and pull it off. We're going to remove this 10mm bolt to remove the ground strap, get it out of the way, then use pliers to pinch the clamp, remove this hose to pull it up out of the way, and then there's 2 10mm bolts that hold the fan assembly, one here and then one back over here. And then you want to disconnect the connection as well. It's just a tab here to press. Sometimes you pull this, it should slide down and off, but press the connector and disconnect. 10mm socket with a ratchet extension. Pair of pliers, squeeze the clamp, pull it back, twist the hose to break it free, pull it off. You may want to have a drip pan underneath just to make sure no coolant comes out, drips on the floor. And now we'll remove the 2 bolts that hold the fan. Anything that you can do to give yourself a little more space, which one thing is disconnect this coolant temperature sensor. It just has a tab on the side. Press the tab and wiggle it off. I just hold the hose up out of the way. The fan pulls up and then you can slide it some to the side. You have to reach down and push your lower hose a little bit. It's just a kind of a matter of working it out. Disconnect the left-hand fan here. Just press on the top and pull out the connector. Now remove 6 10mm bolts, 2 that hold the top of the fan in place, and the 2 bolts that hold the condenser, and the 2 10mm bolts that hold the radiator brackets. And just remove the brackets so they don't get lost. You want to remove this wire harness clip here. Just use a small pair of pliers, squeeze the teeth here, and push it through. Now you can start to pull the fan up and out until you get to here, and there's another couple connectors that are clipped to the fan. For this larger one, press this clip here, and then you should be able to pull it off. They're always rusty though, so they don't never really like to come off. And if you can't get those off the bracket, as in our case, the Phillips screw that holds the bracket on. Original part from the vehicle, new part from 1A Auto. You can see it's all the same. Connector's the same. Everything's the same. It's going to go in, install, and fix your problem. We're going to remove this new clip because our old clip didn't come apart, so we can just reuse it. Slide down a little bit. And grab our harness with the metal bracket and attempt to reinstall that. Install this clip and then slide it down in. Make sure those posts at the bottom go into the holes, and then install your 2 mounting nuts. Tighten these up, 10mm socket with a ratchet. And you can then reconnect your harness. Then our radiator top mounts. Now our condenser mounts. Tighten them all up. Two pegs on the bottom here go down into holes here. Pull the coolant hose up and your lead up and out of the way. Put your fan down in kind of diagonally. It's just a matter of, you gotta push on the lower hose a little bit. And continue to feed it down in. And then this upper corner, you just have to get around the brace. So to get this around, just move it out a little bit of force, push it in behind, and then it kind of goes down in. Make sure this hose that goes to the coolant bottle is out of the way. And then you just have to kind of lift it up and try to feel for, you can kind of reach down there, feel one of the pegs, feel for the hole, and get it to slide down in place. And once you do that, the holes should line up pretty well with the holes in the radiator to mount. You can connect the connector. And then this bolt goes in. The other bolt goes in. And 10mm socket and ratchet. And with an extension, just tighten them up. Plug in your coolant sensor. Put your hose back on. Reset the clamp. Put your ground strap back in place. You may not need to take off the ground strap, but ours is in kind of rough shape, so we didn't want to hurt it anymore. Put the clip in place. The hose down on. Again, a lot of times you can just use your fingers on this clip. Sometimes you might want to use a pair of pliers. So lower it down in place, clip the hose in as you go. There. This one goes in there. And down in. And then clip this in up here. There's a tab here on your bottle, and that tab goes down into a slot right here. I'll replace the 10mm bolt. Battery. In place. Put this down in. The hook goes down and in. Reinstall your 10mm bolt. Tighten it up. Reconnect your positive cable first, and your negative cable. Tighten up and tighten. Bumper cover back in place. Make sure you go underneath the latch lever and line it up on the headlights. And then put these clips back in to hold it in place. Reinstall this 10mm bolt on each side. Once the bolt's back up in, push your inner fender, or in this case what's left of the inner fender, up and in. Okay, so there should be a bunch of clips in here, but they're all missing from this car, so we're going to kind of put it back together the way it came apart, using some wire ties, and just secure the bottom.
Antifreeze is a little bit of a conundrum. Not a lot of places accept it to recycle it, so what I do is when I can, I reuse antifreeze that I've drained out. So I use a nice clean pan to drain it into, and then I use a piece of t-shirt or a rag and put it into the funnel, and then you dump your old antifreeze through it, and this will filter out most of the dirt. Now, some may say, well, you don't want to reuse your antifreeze. That's true if you live in a very cold climate like Alaska, or a very, very hot climate like the desert Southwest, where antifreeze is very important. If you're in a temperate climate, it doesn't matter if your antifreeze breaks down some, you can still go ahead and use a little more worn out antifreeze, and usually you want to augment the old antifreeze with new antifreeze anyways to top off the radiator. Use a 50-50 mix. You can either buy it pre-mixed or buy it full strength and dilute it on your own with water.
And then fill it. And after you do a repair like this, good idea, fill it, run your car for a little while, check the level, run your car for a while again, and just keep checking the level the first few times you drive the car.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope this video helped you out. Next time you need parts for your car, please visit oneauto.com. Also check out our other helpful how-to as well as diagnosis videos.